What if you were forced to eat like you were in a diet cult? Foods like egg yolks, liver, blended salads. How about this one? Yeast milk. It promised full body healing and was called The Program. A controversial diet made popular in the 60s and 70s by Christopher Giancurcio. It's since been labeled a cult. Giancurcio was reportedly a naturopathic doctor who promoted extreme diet plans to his patients to encourage whole body healing. The program was his most intense and popular plan, even getting featured in women's magazines in the 70s. It was a strict diet of blended drinks and other extreme limitations. Giancurcio and his teachings reportedly had a deeply devoted following. Fans even claimed they saw him heal people with cancer and other serious ailments. He was eventually charged with illegally practicing medicine, and though he was acquitted, questions about his methods remain. And Giancurcio, the man who preached health, died at age 75 of congestive heart failure. For some who followed this diet, the effects still linger. Christine O'Brien joins me now. She says her mom forced her to follow an extreme version of this diet when she was a child, with foods like warm egg yolks, liver, raw liver in fact, blended salads, and yeast milk for 10 long years. Christine, do you remember what eating was like before you started on this program?
Normal foods. Like Chips Ahoy were my favorite, Ritz crackers, chicken, meat. Those things were, peas, and my mom was against I won't jump ahead. But yeah, very normal food, just spaghetti.
What happened? What got her fixated on the idea of having a very specific, controlled type of diet?
After she died, I found some writing, and I realized that she didn't feel well as a child. I think she probably had food sensitivities, but people didn't understand that in those days. Mm-hmm. But and to answer the question, when I was 10, she had a collapse. She collapsed and went to the hospital and came back and went to bed for a year. Didn't get out of bed.
For a year?
For a year. And that's when she actually got out of bed only to take these secret trips to see doctors who were operating underground. In those days, to practice medicine without a license was against the law. So these people she was seeing, all of them had been put in jail. And it was after seeing one of them that she started having the raw liver, which is, can I say, I admire you because you've brought health and diet together, the medical world and the health world. But in those days, they seemed further apart. So during that year in bed, she started reading. Adele Davis, the health books had just come out, right. So she was finding information. The doctors, she went to medical doctors and they told her there was nothing wrong.
So just so I can put the pieces in my mind, she gets sick, she doesn't get much resolution from traditional medicine, she finds some practitioners outside the norm, but she seems like she took a lot of the information she was gathering and made a more extreme version of it.
She did. For example, the doctors she had seen in Boston talked about the health properties of liver, but she decided that raw liver was even better because enzymes are broken down when food is cooked. So she ate only raw liver for a really long time, and like a fork full, and like all the tendrils would be hanging. And I was just this little kid watching, there's blood on the plate. And so yeah, everything she did, she took things to an extreme.
Your father was around. Did he intervene? What would he do once your mom became obsessed with, for example, raw liver?
So my father raged. He was a rageaholic. My mom named it that. And one reason she started the diet was she told me meanness is a sign of a sick liver. So she thought if she could clean him out, she would stop the raging. So we started out with a raging father, and it was terrifying. And he was important. He was making movies and putting shows on the air and creating the wide world of sports and hiring Roone Arledge and putting That Girl on the air and Bewitched and the first soap opera, Peyton Place. So he was this larger than life figure. And he raged, which to me seemed, being important and raging seemed to go hand in hand. There's a line in the book where I say she clung to the diet as the one thing to save her marriage, but it was the thing that imploded the marriage. So our house became a pressure cooker. As more and more things were controlled, his rage boiled over and eventually, went in a bad direction.
Up next, what would it be like to live on just these foods, the one you're looking at right now? Like the yolks, the livers. What can this kind of eating do to your mind and to your body? Stay with us to find out. We're back discussing the extreme diet known simply as the program, greatly modified by one of its followers. Christine O'Brien's mother was a believer, feeding her children foods like raw liver, warm egg yolks, and blended salads for every meal. And Christine's here to, if you don't mind, share with us a typical day of what you would eat. And I must say that I've seen a lot of diets, but this one stunned me with some of the items that were required.
Well, this was a supplement, and this was actually pre-programmed. We had the supplement, only this is thin compared to what we had to drink. My mom ate the raw liver on the plate, but what we had to have was powdered raw liver and powdered yeast. That would fill a glass like almost as big as this.
So you'd slurp it
And
down.
it was literally sludge.
Sludge.
We were drinking warm sludge. And the longer you waited, the warmer it got. And I have 3 brothers, and we would joke about giving it to the dog, but we couldn't get up until we finished our supplement. So that was breakfast every day.
This is a salad?
So this is the blended salad. Looks pretty good. Once the program started, this was the cornerstone of the blended salad of the program. We had to have this 3 times a day. We actually had it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we had to have juice before it. And the doctor that we went to, my mom went to, decided by listening to your pulse what was the best juice. So I always got celery and tomato, which was the worst. Carrot and celery was sweet. My brother Jay got that, and we were all envious. Each of us had a different juice. This doctor believed that different juices did different things in your body. But literally, this was 3 times a day. We had to face this, and it's kind of okay once in a while, but once you're 3 times a day, every day, for months and months and years, it's hard.
Did you ever get joy from eating as a child?
That's a good question. No, I mean, we weren't. My mom said that Americans, use food as entertainment, and her whole motto was, "It isn't entertainment; it should be nourishment." And so all the entertainment was stripped out of it.
So it's joyless eating.
It was joyless eating, yeah. But the only thing we actually liked was, again, so we would have a few, all you wanted on the white plate. Like lunch would be the blended salad.
No, it's okay. So
is that okay?
Yeah. So you wouldn't get all these.
No, not at all.
How much would you get?
Well, on Monday I would get filbert. So it would
you only got one?
Yeah, this would be my lunch on Monday. Tuesday I would have cashews, and then Wednesday I would have walnuts.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but if you were lucky, Thursday we got cheese. So that was when I enjoyed eating, because oh my God, it's unsalted, it's raw, but it was cheese.
I mean, this would be something you might see on my show.
This is dinner.
I might actually show you that, but I wouldn't give you the raw eggs.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't control this element of it, which sort of the thing is that's concerning to me is took an idea that maybe had some merit to it.
Yes, it had merit.
And again, I don't mind nuts and fruit, and these are all vegetables we talk about without the raw eggs. But I added the calories up, and it's about 1,000, which for a growing child, especially for your brothers, was probably not enough.
Yeah, I mean, you just got used to. I mean, you didn't get used to it, but we were hungry all the time, and you just crave. Like we weren't allowed salt or peppers, so even the simplest things, like literally, it was just stripped down to as pure.
The elements, without everything else that comes along with food, the sacredness of it is lost. And listen, this is extremely disordered eating. I hope we all agree with that, but it's especially a problem for a child, which is what's concerning to me. Just looking back at it, what was your mom trying to do for you? I get her health issues. Maybe for her, there was some merit if she had food sensitivities in a time when they didn't understand them.
Right.
And she wasn't getting any solutions from traditional medicine, that she might do something more extreme. But what was the benefit to you?
Well, I think she didn't. The thing I like now is people really understand that everyone's body is so different, and different people, different body types need different diets, right? But she believed that this one diet fit all.
So, you ever talk to your mom about how you felt about this diet and how it affected you as a child?
My mom, I think part of the problem was there was so much control and rigidity, and I think my mom, for us, my dad raged, as I told you, and we felt like we were keeping my mom alive. It was the only thing we could do to make her happy. So even to mention that you were thinking of she would say, you won't want meat anymore when your body's pure. You won't want candy anymore when your body's pure. In her mind, it was a failing, it was a fault that we crave things. And to even mention that I might crave something, we thought we would kill her. Like the first time I ate meat in front of her.
But you thought you would kill her, but she herself died during an extreme diet.
She did. She died fasting. She was fat. She had a pain in her toe, and she believed it was her gallbladder meridian. And she was doing fasting on and off. She would do a week fast and then do it every Sunday fast. So yeah, she kept eating. She moved from this diet to another extreme diet. She ate the same thing 3 times a day for the last 20 years of her life.
How did you finally break free from this way of eating?
Every day is a little more breaking free. You're so programmed as a young person, and every day is better than the day before, but all those messages of guilt and even of hurting my mom, she's no longer alive, but those are still part of every time I sit down to a meal. And yeah, every time I sit down to a meal.
Thank you for telling your story. I know it's not easy.
Thank you so much.
For more on Christine's story, you can check out her book. It's called Crave, available now.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new videos to live the good life.